Most people blow their injury claim before they even know what they did wrong. And once the damage is done, you can't undo it. But the good news is it's not too late to avoid the biggest mistakes and get the full settlement you deserve. I'm going to show you exactly how, and it starts with something almost nobody thinks about. Let's say you're talking to the adjuster. They ask you for your full name, date of birth, and address. Seems normal, right? But what you don't know is they're running a search on you. Even one undisclosed car crash from years ago, they'll find it. All your past claims, car accidents, even slip and falls get reported to this national database. And if you try to hide it, they'll trust you less and probably offer you less too. Because if they think you're hiding one thing, they'll assume you're exaggerating everything else. Mistake number one is not realizing insurance companies use a database called ISO to see all your past claims. But some people make it even worse. They give the adjuster something they can use against them without even realizing it. Let me explain. Someone once called my office after they were in an accident, had gotten medical treatment, and were ready to settle. They told the insurance company, "I want $35,000. Sounds smart, right? But here's the problem. What if they could have gotten $50,000 or even more without demanding a number first? Once you've told them your number, it's in their system, and adjusters don't forget that. They usually won't offer you more than what you asked for, even if your case is worth more. When you make your settlement demand for an amount before they've made you an offer, it shrinks your negotiating room. You should almost always let the insurance company make the first offer. They may pleasantly surprise you, but in a moment I'll reveal why you shouldn't get your hopes up. To show you why you shouldn't trust the first offer, even if it sounds reasonable, let's look at a few real examples from different cases I handled. Insurance companies know exactly what they're doing when they make that first low offer. They're using a trick called anchoring. They make a small offer because they want you to mentally anchor your expectations low. And here's how sneaky anchoring really is. In one study, experienced judges were given a random number like rolling dice before they decided a hypothetical criminal sentence. Even though the number had nothing to do with the case, judges who saw a high number gave much longer sentences than judges who saw a low number. Insurance companies don't just throw out a number, they drop a heavy anchor in your brain. Even if you know better, that anchor slows you down and keeps you from swimming toward the full value you deserve. That's how powerful anchoring is. And once they plant the number in your head, every move you make feels like it's still tied to that original lowball offer. Mistake number two is demanding an amount before asking for a fair offer. This next case shows how a single move can either make or break your entire claim. My client Sam was riding his bike when a driver hit him, but this mistake applies to all types of accident cases, not just bicycle crashes. The police came to the scene. A report was written. Everything seemed routine. But we did one more thing that changed everything. We requested the 911 call. On that call, the driver said, "I hit a man. He was on a bike." That one sentence helped us settle the case for $350,000. And here's what most people don't realize. That call, it could have been deleted in just 30 or 60 days, depending on the county. Even if fault seems obvious, the strongest proof is often what gets erased the fastest. In this case, we had it, in the driver's own words, but only because we acted fast. It may be the best proof you'll never get unless you ask for it early. Oh, and in case you're wondering, Sam had a serious ankle injury, 2 surgeries. But even with injuries like that, I've seen accident victims make another huge mistake, and I'll expose it later in this video. Mistake number 3 is not requesting the 911 call before it's deleted. But even when you have solid evidence, like a clear admission of fault, the insurance company still has one more trick up its sleeve. It's what they offer you next, and that's where most people let their guard down. In another case, my client was in an accident and had gotten medical treatment. We sent her records to the insurance company. Then came the email. They offered $12,500. My client was frustrated, so was I. It wasn't an easy case, but she had a real injury. That first number, It was just a starting point. Insurance companies rarely open with their best offer. They want to see if you'll take the bait. We didn't. We ended up settling for $250,000. Mistake number 4 is assuming that the insurance company's offer is close to what's fair. We only got that $250,000 payout because we avoided the next mistake most accident victims make. And I'll be honest with you, even after I graduated law school and had already represented insurance companies for several months, when I first started representing injured people, I wanted to believe what insurance adjusters told me, especially when they said something was off the record. It felt casual, like we were just talking. But behind the scenes, they were writing everything down, and they could use it later to hurt the case. If it could save them money, it wasn't off the record. It was permanent. And when you realize the adjuster isn't really looking out for you, it makes sense why their first offer is just the start of the game. Most people think these claims wrap up quickly. One offer, one counter offer, and done. But that's not how it works. Expecting a quick, clean finish is like asking someone to marry you the first time you meet them. If I'd proposed to my wife on the first date, she probably would have ended it right there. Good things take time, and so do fair settlements. In another case, the first offer was $20,000. My client had real injuries, multiple rounds of treatment. We went back and forth, round after round, sending updated records, pushing the adjuster, keeping pressure on. The final settlement, $240,000. That's 12 times their original offer, and we didn't even sue. Most people give up way too early and leave serious money on the table. Mistake number 5 is expecting your case to settle after just 1 or 2 negotiation moves. But it's not just about negotiation moves. It's also about being prepared for the future. When you're recovering, your doctor might say, let's see how you respond to therapy. Maybe you'll need injections or surgery later. You nod, say thanks, and walk out. But you don't ask, how much would those injections or surgery cost? Or could arthritis show up later because of this injury? In many cases, doctors don't automatically include that in their notes. But if it's not documented, the insurance company doesn't count it. In one case, we got a written estimate for future surgery and gave it to the insurance adjuster. Their offer jumped from $15,000 to over $84,000. And in a case I worked on with another law firm, my client had already had surgery, and the doctor clearly stated that they might need future surgery and could develop arthritis. That report helped us settle for $1.2 million during a lawsuit. Future medical care can raise the value of your case dramatically, but only if it's in writing. Mistake number 6 is not asking your doctor for a written estimate of future care like surgery, injections, or arthritis. The next mistake that keeps payouts small is the biggest one, and it's not knowing the 34 game changers that took me over 400 cases to figure out. But here's the good news. You can learn these simple factors in a short video. I expose these easy claim tricks in the video that's on screen, so watch it now. And if you've been injured in an accident and someone else is at fault, click the link in the description below to see if I could be the attorney for you.